generation, well, let's say Gen Z, that's the abbreviation for it. Gen Z, is it the last generation? The reason why we selected that topic is because we are right at another crossroads. And what happened here in Numbers 14:31, the children of Israel were at a crossroad. And Moses was standing between the last generation coming from Egypt and the first generation going into the promised land. We know that Jesus himself mentioned that in I would say Mark 13, I believe, from around verses 28 to the 31st verse. Jesus mentioned that when you see the fig tree starting to bloom again, be ready. Not saying that, we're not inferring that this has to be the generation, because only God knows exactly when things will happen. Because our crossroad right now is that Jesus is supposed to be coming. This is we are moving from the physical to the spiritual realm. I know a lot of people think this is like a physical affair, but it's not, unfortunately. That's why when you see all these things happening, especially with Gen Z, which is the generation where we are now. Gen Z, according to the specs, the specifications, Gen Z are supposed to be those born between 1995 and 2015. Gen Z are those from 5 years old to 25 years old, and they have nearly 74 million of them in the US. So what I'm saying here, Gen Z here, according to a lot of things that are happening, remember Jesus was saying in Luke 13, when you see certain things are coming, just like he was referring to the fig tree generation, not saying that all Israel had already returned at home. I know there are a lot of controversies into that, but we're not going to Bible studies right now. So that's why you need to come to Bible study with Pastor Jean. So what I'm saying here, what was happening, let me try to paint a picture rapidly in like 2-3 minutes so you can understand why I am referring to our crossroad right now, what's happening right now, as what was happening back then. Moses was standing between the last generation that would die in the wilderness because of their lack of faith and because of their disobedience. You can see that in Hebrew, I believe Hebrew, the 4th chapter, because Paul was like referring to that. He was saying that do not be like these guys who, because of their disobedience, they died in the wilderness. Okay, so what was happening, painting the pictures to show you, what was happening at that time, Moses had 12 spies to go into the land of Canaan, in order to bring them back reports like how the land is, what to expect, because God told them, I already gave you the land, you just have to go in and possess the land. So 10 of those spies decided that, well, we have seen the giants in the land, and the worst things we have seen, the Amalekites. The Amalekites are the children of Esau, who really for no reason hated the Israelites. And that's who Moses had to face when they were coming out as slaves. They didn't have any weapon to defend themselves. And the Amalekites, they ran behind them and killed all the old men, old women, and the little children. So those 10 guys, they said, we're not going in. And only 2 guys stood up, Joshua and Caleb. That's in the chapter right before our text, our golden text there. So these 2 guys, they said, God said we can possess it, we can. So the next thing you know, even the Egyptian was, remember, Israel was a mixed multitude. We had like a lot of Egyptians who decided, look, God is with you, we're going with you guys. In fact, they gave Israel whatever they had, gold and everything else. So here we have 10 of them denying the facts that God just did 10 miracles as far as the 10 plagues in Egypt. And the Egyptian there, they were saying in front of those Egyptians, let's go back to Egypt. Let's choose a leader and go back to Egypt. And they were right there at the crossroad. So you know what happened? God decided that since you guys, the old generation, obviously we're not going to be able to get into generation, the baby boomers, the generation X, generation Y, because we don't have the time. So of course, the last generation, including the 10 guys and everyone else who was there, God said, look, since you said those Amalekites, those giants, they're going to destroy your kids, that I'm like a bad person, I'm trying to deliver your children into their hands. Guess what? Your children are going in and you're staying behind. And we are looking now for 2. We only need but 2 of you guys, 2 of the Gen Z generation, because we're right at the crossroad again. The time has come right now where God is gonna use those that are ready. Because obviously I'll just have to give you that verse that I plan to conclude with, because I may not even reach to my conclusion the way I wanted to, but just in case, in Hebrews 4, 7 through 14, that's what I would be concluding with. This is where Paul was showing us, the generation in the church, that we are now made partakers of Christ. Remember, it's a progression of events. Remember, from the baby boomers, things have been degenerating. Things have been decadent. Things have been going from bad to worse. I know Pastor says that all the time. If you think Pastor is lying, he's not. I'm from the baby boomers generation, and I've seen a lot of things. I've seen hard things have really got worse, and I feel sorry for Gen Z, because Gen Z has to face all these things. But good thing with Gen Z, just like Joshua and Caleb, they're ready for it, because it's a technical. They are technically inclined. They are ready for this battle. And a lot of us from the baby boomers generation, we're not ready for this kind of battle. So all we need right now, we need 2 of you guys. We need two, because if I can give you some example quickly, because I know we only have like about 4 minutes left. Let me tell you from my own experience what I've seen, what I have experienced with Gen Z. While working in a school, because of HIPAA procedures, I cannot mention the name of the kids or the name of the school, but they didn't know I was a preacher, because Gen Z generation, for a lot of things that have been going around, as far as like a lot of lies, they don't like the churches, they don't like the pastor. So look, if you said I'm a pastor, I come to speak to you, they're not even going to want to listen to you. And if I wish I had the time to tell you why, but I don't. So first of all, one of the Gen Z, one of the kids, his problem was he kept coming to me, but they love me. He kept coming to me, Mr. B, because they couldn't pronounce my last name. Mr. B, they're killing us in the streets. Remember, that was a rehabilitative school. That was a school for kids they trying to rehabilitate. So the only thing I told them, I said, when you guys stop killing each other, then they will stop killing you. Then another kid of mixed race. This is what Gen Z is going through. I didn't have to go through that when I was in Haiti. He came in to school one day and he was fighting all the other kids just by looking at him. If he jumped on the one who's looking at him, when someone else says, well, you didn't have to do that, he'll jump on him and start fighting. The guy looked like he was looking more like Puerto Rican. Then I called him because I was supposed to be taking notes and refer them to the principal and let the principal know what's going on. So unfortunately, what I had to tell the principal is that he spoke to me, he told me because his grandmother, who is a white person, called him Negro, and his father is a black person. So he, just because of that, because of someone calling him that from home, he came to school fighting everybody in the classroom. Another generation Z that I had to really try to show some love is one of them. His problem is whenever he was eating in the lunchroom, he was a transgender, and all the other kids from previous schools would come to him and said, I know you, you're not this, you this, you're not a girl, you're a boy. And so they had to come, they have to get those kids, bring them into the principal's office. And so you have all these to face. And another kid again that I try to convince him not to play with Ouija board. Ouija board. I know you guys, you're very advanced, you guys. Good thing I took computers in school. I took 2 years of computers, so I can keep up with you guys. But I trust in you. I know that you can bring us over into the technical world. So here the guy told me, I told him no. Guess what? About a week after that, he killed himself. And he was there talking to me in the classroom and having a nice time. So I want to conclude with you guys, just like Moses needed two of the previous generation to take him over. Because now you are from age 5 through 25. We need you guys. You're the one who can take us over.